What's going on, guys? My name is Rumble Skrash. In today's video we're gonna be doing a very special video because it's gonna be the new PvP unit tier list. So this is gonna be a tier list for those of you who don't know. This is gonna be a tier list which is gonna be ranking the best units in PvP, and it's gonna be including legends, rare recruits, free-to-play units, PvP limited rare recruits and stuff like that. So if you want to check out the previous tier list, you can check it here on top, but this is the result of the last tier list. Now, in this kind of tier list, I am taking into consideration the usability that a character has, not only if they have a very important role inside the one meta team, but if they can be used in a great number of teams, and what is the actual use that that unit has in that team, and the importance of that unit inside that team and stuff like that. So yeah, now this is obviously not gonna be like the tier 0 units. If you put them all together in a team, it's not gonna be the best team. It's just like how good a unit is and how valuable it is to have the unit. Now, in this kind of tier list, I actually decided to include the next legend that is gonna be releasing. So this is gonna be actually something quite weird, because I had already recorded this whole tier list with the addition of legend B2 Kaido and B3 Zoro, but talking about them like if they were coming next month. So I was just including them like, oh yes, in next month we're gonna be seeing that, and then things are gonna start changing. And then I was mentioning legend B2 Enel, saying, and yeah, and after that we're gonna have B2 Enel and things might change again. So the problem is that B2 Kaido and B3 Zoro got announced, so we already have them in game right now at the moment where I'm recording this video. So they are already here, and then actually I'm not sure if B2 Enel actually got announced, but I think he got data mined into the game. So I think we should be getting B2 Enel in at max 3 weeks, but I think it's gonna be less than that because they are just fast forwarding content into global, so I think it's gonna be less than that. But in JP, B2 Enel released 3 weeks after B2 Kaido, so at maximum it's gonna be 3 weeks, I think. But yeah, so in this tier list I am including B2 Kaido, B3 Zoro, and also B2 Enel, and then the limited rare recruit Rebek and Toy Soldier. So this is gonna be a tier list that's gonna be changing a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna like quickly explain some changes that I have decided in some units, like because I have been able to test with them a lot, or maybe because they lost value because of something and stuff like that. And I'm gonna be including B2 Kaido and B3 Zoro, and that way you can see the changes that B2 Kaido actually does inside the general meta of PvP. And then at the end, when I include Enel and Rebecca and Toy Soldier, I'm gonna be showing the changes that unit has and the impact that those kind of units have in PvP meta, because it's kind of crazy, and you're gonna be able to see, because I decided to do it this way because I already had all the changes written down for B2 Kaido and B3 Zoro, and then I wanted to show you guys my reasonings behind that, and not like putting together at the same tier list and at the same reasonings B2 Kaido and Enel, because it might have been a little bit harder to dissect. So yeah, but without further ado, let's actually start with this tier list. Now I'm gonna start with some changes that I'm gonna be doing. So now B3 Law is actually gonna be bumped up. Like these reasonings behind these first changes, I repeat, is because of the release of B2 Kaido and B3 Zoro, and then with the release of Enel you're gonna be seeing. So now B3 Law is gonna be bumped up, and I decided to put him like in here. In case of B2 Kaido, because with B2 Kaido, yes, the slashers were still a little bit relevant. So Halloween Law, I think I really like that unit. But then with the release of Enel, this is one of the few units that I'm already gonna be saying the changes that has with Enel. With B2 Enel, he fits perfectly in side team, which massively counters slashers. So he's gonna immediately go to tier 0. Also because we're gonna be having the quick meta with B2 Kaido, and the quick meta is gonna have a lot of driven and powerhouse unit. So this guy debuffs them. So this is gonna be an amazing addition to your teams, because you can actually really debuff the enemy, most of the enemy teams that you go up against, like even if it's slasher or quick or like even driven units and stuff like that. So amazing unit, and gives Psy unit special city up, so obviously it's gonna be really good for a Psy team. So I think I have decided to actually put this guy like here, probably, at least with the addition of Enel and Kaido and stuff like that, because Rainbow is not gonna be seeing that much play, I think, in my opinion. So having this guy is gonna be really good, but like all these units are really good, obviously. Now, next change that I wanted to say, like, because Rainbow got a lot of love, like I want to put Neko like up inside the tier. So actually I want to do something like this, and I think Neko Mamushi is actually really valuable. So, but well, I'm gonna be doing some changes at the end of this video because of Enel and the downfall of the slashers. But first, I want to show like the addition of the first unit, so Kaido and stuff like that. So for the moment, yeah, Neko goes here, and then we have that I decided to bump Stampede Usopp in front of Luffy Sanji, because I really love the use of this unit, and this unit is just starting to, well, it wasn't that good at the start, but it's starting to lose value over time because we have a lot of really powerful units. But yeah, next one, I'm gonna be actually putting Raid Ivankov actually in tier 1, so higher than Stronghold Ace, because he's just so good, and we are gonna start to see some quick meta with B2 Kaido. So this is gonna be an amazing addition, really good unit, because he actually will give you defense up level 3 for, well, at least quick, but also strength and dex. But yeah, so next one is gonna be Halloween Shanks, which is also gonna be bumping up into tier 1, because I really saw like the potential that this guy have, not only as a bench nuke, but the action bind can actually be really cool. So I decided to put him like here. Like, this is a very bench nuke, good bench nuke, like Big Mom. And then like Shanks is also a nice addition. So next up is gonna be B3 Kuzan, which I'm definitely gonna bump up, and I don't really know what he was already doing here. Probably it was not counting on the buffs, but he's definitely a tier 1 unit, and plus now with the quick meta, he's gonna be a very important unit, mostly for first early quick metas. So yeah, and he's gonna be going also up, like higher than Stronghold Days, in my opinion. Then I'm gonna be putting Legend Frankie in the top of tier 2, because he's such an amazing unit, and I have seen the value of Jack, and Frankie's not that different. One bad thing about Frankie, yeah, he's quick, but he does not buff Driven or Powerhouse, and most of the quick meta team are actually Driven and Powerhouse, so they get not buffed by Frankie, at least the passive. So that's a bad thing about him. So that's why he's not in tier 1, in my opinion. And then next we have Fortnite Inu, which I thought it was deserving to go higher in the list, so probably somewhere like here. I'm gonna be changing Boa Hancock, by the way, but yeah, so also because he can be used in a kind of rainbow teams, and that's gonna be actually important, because when we see the downfall of the slashers when I add B2NL, it's gonna be important that some units still have some value in other teams and not only slashers. But yeah, then we have the Sweet Commanders that I decided to put higher than Jinbei, because oh no, sorry, not here. Higher than Jimmy, because they are such a really good unit, and I kind of underrated them. But yeah, like, they are strength based, so it's kind of a shame, because strength is not at its best right now. But yeah, then Legend Kid actually higher than Sweet Commanders, because I realized that the defense with the special is actually rainbow, so he can be used in some kind of rainbow teams and some dex teams. So he's actually a really nice unit, and probably he should be even higher, but I don't have him. I haven't been able to test with him, so I don't really know the full information of what this guy can do. But yeah, so then I decided to put Rare Recruit Capone also higher than Jinbei, and probably this guy too, but this guy is not that good for a quick team, but yeah, he can be used. And then Legend Magellan, I thought of putting him higher in the list. So somewhere like here maybe. No, I think higher than Leo, because he can be used in a Dex team and in a Rainbow team, so that's really good. And the damage over time can actually do some really cool stuff. And then I decided to put a Rare Crit in Warashi in tier 1, because you guys saw the potential that this guy have inside the slasher team, and I actually when I tested him, I couldn't believe that that team was performing that well, so he definitely deserves to be at least in tier 1. But yeah, like I really love the use of this guy, so maybe not higher than this guy, but because this guy can do really, really cool stuff, and mostly on defense teams. But yeah, so next is gonna be Corazon, which is gonna be going up into tier 2. Now, Corazon, when we have the quick meta, the full quick meta, he's definitely gonna be a tier 1 unit. In my opinion, Corazon, just with the addition of Kaido, is already higher than Kid, because, well, apart that he is a healer, you can use him in obviously like a Rainbow or Dex team. You can just use him to counter quick units, and once we get the quick meta, that's gonna be a really, really important thing to do. So in the future, when we have, for example, Ace versus Akainu and stuff like that, or Magellan, or even other quick meta units, definitely this guy is gonna go higher in tier 1, because he's such an amazing unit. But yeah, so for the moment he goes here, and then I decided to bump a little bit Fortnite Carrot, probably like this, and then Raid Bellamy also higher in the tier 2, so probably like this. Well, actually probably like this, because he can actually be used inside a quick team with B2 Kaido. So this unit, and for example this unit, I think should be higher too, probably like this, because Stasi can actually be really useful in a quick team, so I decided to bump her up a bit. So I think, yeah, Bellamy 2, like I think he should be somewhere like here, because he can be used in a quick team, and he buffs the HP of Driven, and Kaido's Driven, and a lot of the quick units are Driven, so those kind of units are really good. This unfortunately is not that good, the PvP Leo. But yeah, for the moment this is gonna be all the changes, like without adding new units and talking about B2 Enel and stuff, but some of these units you're gonna be seeing some changes. So let's actually start with the first new unit. The first unit is gonna be Rare Crit Enel, which I forgot to include in the previous tier list, and because I was missing him, so I was always forgetting when I was scrolling through my box. But this guy is actually amazing, and I think he definitely deserves to go in tier 0, because he's such an amazing unit. Like he can be used as a bench nuke if you have the enough cost for him, and he can actually, if you put him, for example, in the 7th spot in a 7-man team, or in the 6th spot in a 7-man team, or in the 7th spot in an 8-man team, he can actually his passive can actually be active, and his defense is actually Rainbow defense up level 5 Rainbow with a special, which a lot of people don't know and think it's int based, but it's actually Rainbow, and it can actually be used as a late game defense and can actually save you a lot of bot RNG matches. And I have had that situation a lot of times, in which he allows your units, your bench units, to survive and then activate the specials and destroy the enemy units. Like for example in mirror matches of slashers, if you can use this guy including a PvP Whitebird and stuff like that, I have had situation with very bad RNG in which my units got almost all killed really early, and then Enel comes in charge from the bench, as well as PvP Whitebeard, allows PvP Whitebeard and the other units, remaining units, to survive the normal attacks and then actually activate. So he is actually really useful unit. So he definitely deserves to go in tier 0 in my opinion. Apart that he can be used in a in team, so that's actually a really cool thing. Next is gonna be, I'm gonna go a little bit fast with these ones because I don't want to waste that much time on these ones. But yeah, these rare recruits of the Kaido versus Big Mom are actually quite good. Like, well, not that good, but like I'm gonna be putting them in tier 2, like Queen 2, I think, but Queen is a little bit better than King, and then Jack is the best of the three. Like 3 times attack in a small range, can actually do some stuff. So yeah, if you can use him correctly, he can be good. Then PvP Drake, actually I think he deserves tier 3, lower than B3 Akainu in my opinion. Probably B3 Akainu should be a little bit higher, but yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. And then we have also Nami and Shinobu, which should be going lower in here. If you're gonna check out what these units actually do, they're not that amazing, but they are interesting. So you can go check out in the per Rumble database, which I will link in the description of this video. And yeah, you can go check out what they do if you do not have them in game. If you have them in game, you can check out their abilities there. But then Treasure Map Kid is gonna go in tier 3, lower than Frankie too, so something like this. And now we are gonna have to replace the Legend Blackbeard because he actually got a super evolution. So I decided to put 6+ Blackbeard in tier 2 and actually lower than these units. So probably like here, and I have to drop this icon. So yeah, here I have a 6+ Blackbeard, and then we have B2, the B2 girls. So B2 Bibi and Rebecca, and B2 Shirahoshi Manchuri. I think in my opinion Shirahoshi Manchuri is actually better than Rebecca and Bibi Rebecca. But yeah, so Bibi Rebecca is actually gonna be going in tier 2 higher than Sugar. And Shirahoshi Manchuri is actually going higher than this, than Sanji. But I'm gonna be doing some changes with Shirahoshi, by the way, but this is gonna be when I put the impact that B2 Enel has. But yeah, so next up is gonna be this Hina, which actually surprised me. It's quite an interesting unit. So in my opinion, it should go in tier 2, higher than Gold Pound Usopp. And then we have PvP Barto free to play, which is a deck-centered unit. So I think he should actually go in tier 2, higher than Leo, but probably actually I would put him like Dex teams are seeing a lot of play right now, so probably I would put him like this. In my opinion, like of Dex teams, PvP Barto and this guy that I'm gonna be talking about, limited recruit PvP Cavendish. Cavendish is the better choice. I mean, probably it's better to use both, but Cavendish is better in my opinion for a Dex team. But yeah, so here we have Treasure Map Garb, which is a interesting unit that could be used, for example, against some in teams, but well, not that essential. But yeah, like interesting unit if you want to check out what he does. And now we're gonna start with actual legends. So here we have the 6+ of B2 Zoro, which got a little bit good, but not that much. Like I'm gonna be putting him like here probably. Like he's interesting, but not that much, to be honest. Like for a slasher team, and also with the addition of Enel, slashers are gonna be dropping. So yeah, this guy is not that interesting, but well. And then we have Sanji Pudding, which is actually a really, really amazing unit, and is actually a rainbow unit, and can actually like she's definitely, they are definitely not here because in my opinion, when I was talking about them, also not here. I think they were tier 0 material, but in my opinion at the moment it's unfortunate because at the moment where they came, like it's not the best moment because now, and even less now that we already got like Kaido and Enel and stuff like that. So even though they are amazing and they are tier 0 material, they stay in tier 1, the very top of tier 1, but they have to stay in tier 1 in my opinion because of the global meta, not because of them, because they are an amazing unit. But yeah, then I have PvP Cavendish here, which is not gonna be going in tier 2. It's actually gonna be going in, yeah, actually, well, yeah, tier 2, but it's gonna be a really kind of high. Like I think like this, like lower than Kid because Kid can be used in rainbow teams, but yeah, really, really good for a Dex team. And also because he is cost 20. And then we have B3 Zoro. So B3 Zoro, another amazing unit. He can actually be used in any team if you have enough cost for him. That's the problem actually, because his best use is in the 8th spot or 7th spot in the bench. But if you have to put a legend in the 7th spot or 8th spot in the bench, you have to plan your team really specifically to have the enough cost to put a legend there. So that's the only problem that I see with him. So in my opinion, he is very close of being tier 0 as being the best legend nuke in the game, but the fact that you have to plan your team so that you have 55 cost free to add in the 8th spot is kind of difficult, but in a lot of teams it can be used and it's really good. For example, in some rainbow teams, in some dex teams, in some early quick teams, it's actually really nice. So really nice addition to your teams. But I think I don't want to put a lot of units in tier 0, and some of these units are gonna be dropping. So yeah. Next up, we have actually B2 Kaido, finally. So this guy is actually the god of PvP, in my opinion. He's just so good, and he's definitely gonna be going in tier 0. And in regards to where I wanna put this guy inside tier 0, I think he's the best legend in PvP. Like, he should be in spot number 1, but in my opinion, I think that it should go for without B2NL. It should go like this because the slashers are still very relevant and are actually the meta. So Kaido, yes, it's like a very amazing unit, but for the first days without B2NL, it's gonna be like this. But with the addition of NL, you're gonna be seeing that this is changing because Kaido is such an amazing unit. I think he's the best legend in PvP. And can be used in pretty much a lot of the teams because he's self-sufficient and he's just so good. And even in the bench, he can see a lot of play in the bench. So really amazing unit. So we're gonna start now with the addition of these 3 units. So first, I'm gonna be talking about PvP limited rare recruit Law. So Law is actually an amazing unit because he can be used as a bench nuke. So immediately he's gonna be going where Kaku was, and as the only reason for Kaku being tier 0 was because he was the only other third unit that you could use in a 8-man team that had 3 PvP limited rare goods or cost 20 units in the bench, he is gonna drop from tier 0. So he's gonna be going in tier 1, probably like this, because he's still another option that you could use as a nuke, but this is actually a much better option than Kaku because his range is much better. So, well, and the passive is really good too. But yeah, so first unit is put, and now things are gonna be changing with this guy. So I think both of these units are actually tier 0 because they are both amazing. Like this unit, like this PvP limited rare recruit Rebecca and Toy Soldier is actually so broken. Read the abilities, like the amount of defense down that they give for a cost 20 unit to the slashers is actually kind of insane. So really amazing unit, and I think they should be going, at least for the first moments of their release, somewhere like here, like tier 0. Higher than this, probably higher than Shanks Crew, because the thing is that you can use like these debuffing units, slashers, including B2NL, in kind of like against not only slasher teams, like teams that actually have a slasher unit like Roger, Shanks, and stuff like that. You can just use these guys to just completely obliterate them, and then just you can use other units. Like, you don't need to use the full meta side team. So, and in regards to B2NL, yeah, he's not gonna be going here because he's actually also really amazing. And I think, in my opinion, at least for the first moments of his release, he should be going somewhere like here because he's just so broken. Like defense up level 5 at the start and speed up level 5 to side is just amazing. Like, massive defense up at the very start, which is kind of rare to see. And then on a very low cooldown special, a damage to guaranteed to all enemies, and even further defense up level 3 and speed up level 5. So he himself can give, because he has such a low cooldown, he can just continuously stack and preserve the defense up level 8 and a speed level 10. Well, actually, I think the defense is lost after a certain number of seconds, but he's just so good, and he debuffs slashers, and this guy can, and the Rebecca and Toy Soldier can actually give a defense down level 8 to slashers. So this actually changes a lot the global meta. So yeah, like right now that we have Kaido and Zoro, and we still these two units haven't still released, the meta and the meta units are actually like this. So if you want to have a mental picture of what my opinions of the current PvP that right now we have on global is this. But now I'm gonna be doing a lot of changes with the addition of B2Enel, and I wanted to show you that. So this is the moment where you can see what we have now, and then when B2Enel releases, I'm gonna be doing a lot of changes now. So Roger is actually gonna be dropping from number 1 to number 3 because Kaido is gonna be going up to number 1. Like, the only reason that Roger was higher than Kaido was because Slashers were still the best team, and now with Kaido I don't think now with Enel I don't think they actually are, because you can just obliterate them with side teams. So Roger immediately drops, also because he's Slasher, and in any team where he's used you can just focus him with this unit. So amazing use that you can have of this. Just the release of these two units changes the whole meta Slashers. So yeah, in my opinion, Roger drops, and then yeah, he's still so high because he can still be used in pretty much any team, like Rainbow side teams and any teams, but the main thing is side teams. In the meta side team, Roger is there, so that's the thing that saves him, but if not, he would drop a lot. I think Odin, and this is gonna be kind of surprising for a lot of people, drops a lot of spots in tier 0, and he should probably drop more, but I don't really want to angry a lot of people, and probably next month I'm gonna be dropping him even more because the Slashers are gonna be even less relevant in the meta. Like, they're gonna be a strong team but not the strongest. So he immediately drops from the first spots to like more like the end of tier 0. Such an amazing unit, but yeah, he kind of drops, probably lower than Law also, because Law is an amazing nuke. So yeah. Then Kizaru also drops as the last unit in tier 0 because, yeah, he's Psy, but he can actually not boost the Enel. So normally you don't see these guys in the same team, but you could try to do it. So this is the only slight reason that he's still in tier 0. It's because of that, but probably next year he's gonna drop from tier 0. So this is how much things are changing. Then next, Dofi is actually staying where he is because he buffs Driven. So by him buffing Driven, he buffs Kaido and stuff like that. So you can do, and also Enel. So you can do some cool stuff with them. So and also this Katakuri, which is I'm gonna be talking about him too. So yeah, this is the reason why he stays. I already talked about B3 Law and why he's here, because he can debuff not only Kaido and quick units, but also the Enel because he's Driven. So yeah, then next up we have Shanks, and he will stay here because of Rainbow, because if it weren't for Rainbow he would definitely drop. And then Katakuri is gonna be going higher than Shanks, yeah, as it is. I think like this, because he actually debuffs Sai. So Sai is gonna be a really popular team that you're gonna be seeing, at least at the very first month of the release of the Enel. So you can debuff these kind of units with Katakuri. Then I'm gonna be putting the Konis for the same reason higher than Luffy Sanji. So in here, and probably higher than Rare Crit in Arashi, because Konis just massively debuffs Sai, so that can be really put to use. And then B2 Kuzan is actually going from here to the tops of tier 1, so kind of like here, I think, because he's an amazing unit for a side team, but not only for a side team, but also for a kind of hybrid team of Sai and Quick, which at the very start of PvP is gonna be amazing. So definitely a really strong unit and amazing unit. Like, I really love this unit. Maybe I'm a little bit biased, but yeah. Then B3 Boa is gonna go in tier 1, so I think higher than all these units. I think, yeah, like probably like this, because she's an amazing unit. And I'm gonna drop a little bit this PvP Usopp, in my opinion, like here. So yeah, like I think I like a little bit, and probably, yeah, I want to drop more Luffy Sanji actually. So yeah, like probably like here. So I have B3 Boa here, and then I'm gonna bump up obviously Germa 66, because they are also an amazing unit, and they're just gonna go in front of Boa, because in a side team like with Enel, I think it works better to use the Germa 66 and Boa. But yeah, so next we're gonna have Legend Shirahoshi, which is gonna go from the ends of tier 2 to the very top of tier 2. Like, she's so useful in a side team and mostly on defense side teams. She can just heal the whole team. It's just amazing, and she actually buffs the defense by level 5 of side units, so that's obviously really good for a side team. So yeah, really interesting unit. And then I'm gonna drop Kung Fu Luffy, because with the downfall of the slashers, we not only got the downfall of the slashers, we also got the downfall of the very good free spirit units, which were like Roger, Odin, and stuff like that. So units like that drop, and he is gonna go drop in tier 2, and actually like here probably, yeah, like a lot actually, here. And then I also think that Carrot drops to the last of tier 1, and she doesn't drop from tier 1 because she's quick, but again, like the same that happened with Legend Frankie, like she does not buff Kaido or some of the other quick units, so that's a little bit of a shame. So yeah, I'm kind of doubting if I want to drop her to tier 2, but yeah, for the moment she will stay somewhere like here. I also wanted, no, I will keep Frankie here. And then PvP Usopp, yeah, already lowered him, like under, I think I actually want to put him under Jozu, because I actually want to drop these free spirit units under Jozu, because Jozu still holds up, but these guys with the free spirit and shooter buffs, and this guy, yeah, so they are dropping with the downfall of the slashers and the free spirits. So yeah, then PvP Cavendish, actually I want to put I want to put him in tier 1, actually higher than Frankie, because he's such an amazing unit for Dex teams. So actually I wanted to bump him up, the same as Barto, because with the end of the slashers, Dex teams are actually going to be a really cool team. So actually I want to put the Dex centered units a little bit higher, but yeah, not higher than other quick units. So yeah, here. And then I'm gonna put Legend Kid higher than Frankie, because we're gonna be seeing a lot of Dex teams. So Legend Kid is gonna be a really cool addition to your box, but I wouldn't really worry if you don't have it, but it's gonna be a really nice thing to have. And then finally, Fortnite Carrot, I actually wanna put her a little bit higher, because the same reason of B3 Kuzan, you can actually build some hybrid teams of these of the quick units and side units. So, and she buffs both of them. She has a good passive, and with the lower cooldown of the special, she can actually give some fixed time and add some defense to those units. So she's gonna go higher in this list, like probably higher than the rare recruit Nami. So yeah, like this is gonna be the end of this tier list. Probably there's a lot of, well, actually I wanna do like this, because now that free spirits are dropping, yeah, Otama is not that important in terms of special city up, but she's still an amazing healer. So yeah, this is gonna be it for today's tier list. Probably there's a lot of slasher units that should be dropped a little bit because of the fact that Enel is already here, but as we still don't have him in game, I have decided to do an approximation, a very early approximation of how things should look like. But yeah, probably a lot of things change now that slashers are not gonna be meta anymore, and Enel and Rebecca and Toysler just destroy slashers. So yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see once they release. But I think that's my first prediction of a little bit how it should be. But yeah, like obviously, as always, there could be a lot of changing inside, like these big tiers, or maybe some slight discrepancies of the positionings that and order that I have done inside this kind of tiers. But yeah, it should kind of look like this. If you have some very big disagreement, like a tier 3 unit you think it should be in tier 1 or something like that, or tier 2 units you think it should be tier 0 unit, definitely let me know in the comment section down below. It's gonna be really interesting to see your opinions. But as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.